You have reached the Barrel Rings hotline. If you are calling this number, then you are a supporter of This Is My Bourbon podcast. If you could please leave your name and a short message after the beep, we would greatly appreciate it. We hope you have a wonderful day.
So this is Barrel Rings. I believe this is Barrel Rings. So I was told this is Barrel Rings. I was also told that I could speak about the history of This Is My Bourbon podcast. So let's do this. It's about 20 after 4 in the morning, and now, what else we got going on? So I'm literally listening to the latest episode of This Is My Bourbon podcast on YouTube, and I'm watching the debate on McDonald's McGriddles with cheese or the Perry version. I gotta say, I would absolutely do the Perry version because it sounds absolutely fantastic. I mean, you're putting Gouda in there, and I believe it was shaved American cheese in there. It sounds fantastic. However, the McDonald's, there's just, come on, pancakes and whatever cheese product they use, there's absolutely no way. So I absolutely applaud Perry for doing a little bit of a chef thing there and creating his own. It sounds fantastic. I would love to try that next time I'm in Lexington visiting. So, Perry, get on that. Sounds really good. So, while I'm doing this, I'm starting off. So, I've already been drinking for like the last 7 hours, but I brought out my bottle of Arithmetic Story, the very first This Is My Bourbon podcast barrel pick, one of my absolute favorite, especially with pink wax. And to follow it up, I brought out the, This Is My Bourbon Meetup Pick 2022, also by New Riff, another fantastic pick. So we're going to be drinking along with this while I discuss the history of This Is My Bourbon podcast. Unfortunately, I don't know much about the history of This Is My Bourbon podcast, but I will try to do what I can. So the first time that I met Perry was when it was Perry, it was Swan, and it was Connor. And we met at Perry's house with Mr. Joseph Brazo, the one and only Brazers. So apparently, I can only speak for about a minute and a half to 2 minutes before it cuts me off. So where I last left off in our glorious story of the history of This Is My Bourbon podcast, I first met Perry in person, along with Swan and Connor, with Mr. Joseph Brazo, and this was at the Perry Ritter house. I will not disclose that location because I don't want him to get really bad mail and people showing up in creepers and all that kind of stuff. And he does have a family. Just don't need that. But we met and we hung out, and he provided mass quantities of Papa John's pizza and fantastic pours. And on top of that, we got to go up to the where they recorded the podcast upstairs, which I believe now is Eden's bedroom. That's why he has since moved into the garage where we see that on Thursday live streams, as well as the current podcast YouTube viewings, if you don't want to listen to it on your favorite podcast things such as Apple and Spotify and Podbean, and I think there's like 5 or 6 other ones. But anyway, so we went up there and we got to try. Oh my God, the stuff that he let us try, it was fantastic. First time I ever had, first and only time I've ever had Blanton Silver, and it was really interesting seeing that kind of stuff. But then we also went outside and we sat on the patio deck of Perry's, and that's also where Mr. Joseph Bracer went balls deep into that deck where he fell through a little hole. But we're not allowed to talk about that. But there is a little plaque out there for him. It's really neat. If you ever get a chance to visit Perry's household, it's there. But I also got to meet both Perry's father and his mother and his sister, and it's a fantastic family. They're very welcoming. We had a great time. We had a fantastic evening, smoking cigars and drinking whiskey and trying different things and all that kind of stuff. It was a good time. What else can I say about the history of TIMBP? So where we last left off, I was on Perry's deck watching Joseph go balls deep into it. But so let's go over to Eric. So the first time I met Eric was at Whiskey Weekend Batch 3. It was before he joined the podcast, but it was fantastic. It was a great guy. He was passing out treats left and right. I do remember a lot of Little Debbie snack cakes being passed around to everybody, and he was all about, I don't care what you drink, but whatever you do, try pairing them up with the Little Debbie snack cakes. And yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. And I gotta say, I had never thought about getting a snack cake that had been sitting in some kind of weird little casket for like 6 months, and then saying, hey, this is still good, and hey, pour some whiskey on it and you're good to go. But I tried it, and I gotta say, it was fantastic. I love the different things that Eric kind of brings to the table with that, especially the Reese's cup with you got the potato chip ones, you got the ones with the big cups with the extra little Reese Pieces in there. I'm a huge fan of the Reese Pieces. They're so good. They're absolutely delicious. And as I'm watching, I love watching Eric. He's literally wearing the Dragon Ball Z shirt, and he's about to drink Octomore. And we all know Eric is not a fan of the Scotch, and he's doing the Octomore. Holy cow. I got to give him credit. We got to give you credit, Eric. But I also got to say, if you're going to have a Scotch, as the Whiskey Mutant, this is perfect for you because it involves everything that you kind of stand for. So I absolutely appreciate you doing that. As Perry just said, he's putting himself through pain. But this is awesome. This is fantastic. I love this. So yes, good on you for trying the Octomore. I would love to send you a couple samples of what's it, Scorch. The Scorch. I think that would be something that actually be up more of your alley than the Octomore. But yeah, we'll look at doing that. Try to turn you a little bit more of a Scotch fan than just straight whiskey, but what would you pair that with? Seriously, I mean, I kind of want you, if you're going to do Scotch, I want you to pair it with haggis. I mean, come on, what's the most notable Scotland type delicacy out there? I mean, mincemeat pie is definitely England. Fuck England, because, England. But going with the Scottish heritage and culture, it's absolutely got to be some haggis. And I think it would be, because, I mean, haggis is pretty much, it's everything that you would not eat, but you make it into a sausage, which, let's be fair, that's pretty much all sausages to be compared to. So, do that. You guys should definitely get some haggis. And on top of that, if you're going to do this whole thing, I want to see you guys do it with a kilt. Wear a kilt, have some haggis, pair it up with some scotch. Oh my God, that's such a great segment. You guys should do that. This is my haggis podcast, just for one weekend. I would love to see that happen. And I'd be up for it. I have my own kilt. I would wear that. I would come down and do that. Be fantastic. So I don't really know where I'm going at with this one. So I think this is the fifth one. Yeah, I think this is the fifth message I've left you guys. Let's go back to kind of the history of TIMBP and kind of the experience I've had with that. So the main experience I've had with you guys, because I've been listening to the podcast since about 2018, I want to say. 2018, maybe a little bit 2017, well, mostly 2018. But for the most part, it was Perry and Swan. And so it's definitely been Swan and Perry for the most part, and then it's become Eric, and throughout the changes, it was also Connor. I didn't really get to experience too much before that. However, really enjoyed, and I have through everybody that's been part of the podcast, and not just so much listening to the podcast itself, but the friendships we've had, the meeting up, the getting together, and drinking whiskeys and sharing and all that. That's been the best part. I unfortunately missed out on the inaugural This Is My Bourbon Podcast weekend get together back in, I believe that was 2021. However, I did get a chance to come to 2022, and holy crap, was that fun. That was an absolute blast getting to see everybody, hanging out at I forget what the hotel was, that's on the north side of Lexington, and where we had the whole place to ourselves, basically. And seeing Perry do his best impersonation of John Mayer up on stage that Saturday night with the reunion of whatever little town that was in southeastern Kentucky. Holy crap, that was freaking awesome. I truly mean that, man. You freaking jammed. Absolutely jammed. And you were definitely in your element. That was fantastic to watch you up there on stage and playing some blues riffs and all that. That was fantastic. Love to see you do that again. Love to see you stand up on stage and do that. Hopefully next get together, get up there and play a little jam for us. That would be awesome. And then watching Eric. Yeah, so I got cut off again. So I don't know where I left off, but I know we were talking about Eric dancing with some fantastic elderly ladies at a reunion at the last This Is My Bourbon Podcast meetup in 2022. I believe it was in May over Labor Day weekend. It's fantastic. Such a great time. They invited us all back this coming year to go do that. I mean, anytime that you can cross gaps where we literally are having a whiskey weekend, and people from all over coming in and doing that. And then on top of that, interact with a group of people from a town that does not even exist anymore in southeastern Kentucky, but they were having their little reunion and they invited us in. I mean, come on. That's what it's all about right there. I mean, that's just everybody having a good time, everybody having fun. That was awesome. That was absolutely awesome. Love to see that again. Can't wait to try to do that again. I hope you guys do that this coming weekend that you guys are doing. I'm sure you have something that you have in the scope of things that you're trying to do. Can't wait to do that. I don't know what else. I'm trying to think what else is going on with this is my Bourbon podcast. What's there with me and the history. God, the history of things to come. I mean, I got nothing. I need somebody to ask me questions. I'm not in this podcasting thing. I mean, it's just unfortunately it doesn't work for me. I just tips and bits. What can I would say so. My tips and bits. Two of my favorite movies to watch that I think everybody should definitely go and see are number one, Kingpin. I love Kingpin, Farley Brothers movie. Not one of their most famous movies, but fantastic movie about bowling and the Amish and making right what once went wrong and shit clouds. It's fantastic, and that was also filmed where I grew up. My other movie that I would suggest is She's Out of My League. Oh, another fantastic movie. Again, filmed where I grew up. Son of a bitch shit, I literally just spilled whiskey all over me, and you guys cut me off in the middle of that. So we'll go back to the original start of that. Perry, I really think you should probably clip and cut a lot of the shit that I'm saying right now. Anyway, so first tips and bit, I think I said on the last one was Kingpin. Love that movie. It's such a fantastic movie. I mean, we even have Blues Travelers at the end. It's so good, plain Amish. But anyways, the second one is She's Out of My League. Oh, such a fantastic flick. I mean, you got Alice Eve in it. You have Jay. Cannot pronounce his last name, but he's the dude from Canada that plays in a lot of like buddy movies with other people. And yeah, Shane. No, it's not Shane Raskar. He's in Broken Lizard. God, Jay Baruchel, something like that. Anyways, fantastic flick. It was made in Pittsburgh. Oh my God, it's fun for the whole family. All right, seriously, kids under the age of 15 probably shouldn't watch this movie, but it's a great flick. It's heartwarming. It's the underdog guy that gets with a really beautiful girl. Yeah, none of us. It's not realistic at all, but it's a fantastic flick nonetheless. And I gotta say, the true beauty of that whole movie is the background, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Because, well, I grew up there and absolutely love that town, and it's always going to be home for me. And I think everybody should visit there, and it's a fantastic spot. Is there any other tips and bits? I did the tips and bits. I did the bits part. Subscribe. You should definitely subscribe to Tips and Bits and follow them wherever you can on all the platforms that do podcasting and stuff like that. Thursdays, always tune in, 8 o'clock Eastern time. It's a fun time had by all. Definitely do that. Harry, I hope I did the history right. I don't know if I did or not. It's horrible. I'm not very good at this. Definitely need people asking me questions. But no, I think everybody should have a good time. Do that. I think you'll have a good time. Also, follow Eric on The Whiskey Mutant. He's on the Instagrams and all the other fun things. Perry is This Is My Bourbon Podcast on the